Welcome back to Winning Isn't Easy. I'm going to review with you my 5 tips for winning your breast cancer disability claim. Number 1, treat with a specialist. A disability carrier is going to be very skeptical of any claim based on chronic pain, fatigue, or chemo fog if the diagnosis is made by a physician that doesn't specialize in these conditions. My clients have had a greater success in winning their claims when they've been treating with a pain management specialist who can document their pain, or the oncologist who can confirm the chemo fog and the side effects of the chemotherapy. The second tip is to take your medication as prescribed and follow your physician's instructions. Now, your doctor has prescribed medication and treatment to help you with your symptoms. If you refuse or you don't follow your physician's instructions, the carrier just might deny your claim on the basis that you're not getting appropriate treatment. That's a legitimate reason to deny your claim, because under the terms of your policy, you're required to get appropriate medical treatment by a qualified specialist. That will leave the door open for the disability carrier to argue that you might improve if you followed your physician's instructions. So take your medication as prescribed and follow your physician's instructions. You need to continue to get medical care. I know that you may have lost your health insurance, but you still have to get medical care, not only for your well-being, but you've got to get medical care under the terms of the policy. You've got to provide the carrier with updated medical records to show the progression of your problems and to show the impact of treatment. If you can't afford medical care, you can reach out to your county medical society or even other organizations that can make suggestions as to where you can get low cost or no cost medical care. The fourth thing is to make sure that the forms you and your physician have been asked to complete by the carrier are reviewed. And I obviously am reviewing them on behalf of my clients because I want to make sure that these forms ask the right questions, that the doctor has answered these questions correctly, and that you haven't said something in your activity of daily living form that will result in a denial of your claim or the carrier putting surveillance film or an investigator on you to trap you. The carrier is going to be sending you a ton of forms to complete during the application stage and even after you're on claim. And I know that these forms aren't easy to understand or complete. And people have a tendency to blow off these forms, or worse yet, to exaggerate. Now, you might be sent a form asking you to document your problems and how those symptoms impact your functionality. You might be asked a stupid question like, do you drive a car? And you can say, of course, or you can say no. But I think it's important that you explain how the fatigue or the side effects of medication impair your ability to drive if you're driving. Now, remember, the carrier is going to compare what you have said on those activity of daily living forms with what's in your medical records. So there has to be consistency. The other key here is that your doctor's got to support your claim. If your doctor doesn't support your claim and isn't willing to fill out forms for the carrier, then you have got a big problem. And you're going to have to find another physician who will be supportive of your case. The other problem you have to address is whether or not your physician knows how to fill out APS forms properly and won't get on the phone with a carrier's peer review provider and be talked into saying that you can work in some capacity. So you want a doctor who will stand up for you and will fight for you. And the fifth tip I have for you is tell your physician never, ever, ever, ever to accept calls from the disability carrier's medical peer review team, and do not let their office staff talk to the disability carrier's peer review team. You want it all in writing so that your physician has the time to properly answer the question. Far too many times I find that doctors are intimidated by the insurance company physicians who are trying to bully them into saying that you can work in some capacity. I think the far better approach is, as I said, to have all of this done in writing. That way, there is a record of what's been asked and the answer. I have even had cases, by the way, where the peer review doctor has lied about having a call with the treating physician or has even misrepresented the discussion. The carrier is using that peer-reviewed medical provider as a weapon to deny your claim. They're fishing for reasons to deny or terminate your benefits, and their peer-reviewed doctor will give them the bait that they need to deny your claim. So I hope those tips help you get the disability benefits you deserve. That's it for today's episode. If you like this podcast, please leave a review and share it with your friends and family. Remember, this podcast comes out weekly, so stay tuned for next week's edition. Hope you've enjoyed it and look forward to talking with you next week. Winning isn't easy.